So how do you think how does your Catholicism affect how you comment on politics? Just in the way you've said?
Yes, and it broadens it out in the way that John Henry Newman said, to read history is to cease to be Protestant. And, which I try not to say on the show. I don't want to be too mean to the
our beautiful
wonderful
Protestant
listeners. Yes,
we're often doing a better job than we Catholics.
That's right. But what really helps there is conservatives are very reactive to everything. We mock the left for calling everyone a Nazi, but we do it too sometimes. And people make two historical comparisons ever: Hitler and the fall of Rome. That's it.
There's no others.
Those are the only events that ever happened in history. And the thing is, people who only make those two historical comparisons don't understand those two things either.
Okay.
If you don't have any sort of sense of history, then you're liable to make really sort of shallow, fashionable observations and claims about politics. But if you're Catholic, things are very complicated. And so a good example of this, we were talking about free speech earlier, is it became really fashionable over the last 5 years for conservatives to adopt this free speech absolutist position. I did not fall into that, whereas many other conservatives did. And I did not fall into that in part because I'm a Catholic. We have a list of banned books, okay? I know that we mock book burning as the greatest of all evils. There's book burning in the Book of Acts. People ban their sorcery books. I know that Plato advocated banning the books of his philosophical rivals, and I know that there's a position to be. There's a good argument for restricting certain views. I mean, St. Thomas Aquinas says that heretics ought to be executed. So that does not. I haven't called for AOC to be executed because of her horrible political views, but it shows you that things are a little bit more complicated than whatever stupid 5-point manifesto you read on the back of a napkin these days. Right. And there's a good argument for standards and for suppressing things. I mean, if you're a Catholic, you believe that error has no rights, and I know we're not supposed to say that anymore because we're marrying ourselves to the spirit of the age. But if you marry yourself to the spirit of the age, you'll find yourself a widow in the next age. And so an argument for Catholicism beyond, the prospect of heaven and living heaven on earth is also, it will protect you from the errors of passing fashions.